Hey guys, how's it going? Wanted to do a little introduction video on the pistol caliber carbine. You've already seen a little bit of these in action on my channel here, but I wanted to kind of, before I got even further into what I plan on doing with these, I wanted to kind of give you guys a little intro, introduce you to the rifles, kind of show you some quick little overall features, and also I wanted to talk about a little bit of the pros and cons of the pistol caliber carbine and why you'd even want to own one in the first place. So, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail into this video. Like I said, this is going to be just a general overview, kind of just an intro vid, because I'm going to be breaking these topics up into their own separate videos so that you guys can have a little bit better reference and cover and be a little bit more in depth into some of the topics that we want to go over. Some of those topics I'm gonna break out are gonna be like the practical applications of these carbines, like why you would want to own one in the first place. Where do they kind of come in the grand scheme of things? You know, just their practical everyday, your practical use. And I want to do some ballistics discussions, okay? Because I want to talk about what happens to, in this case, all three of these are 9mm, and so I want to talk specifically as to what to expect from a 9mm when you put it in a rifle length barrel. So we're going to talk about those, and then that's going to lead us into a terminal ballistics discussion. I'm going to actually do a bullet capture. I have actually done a bullet capture with the Kel-Tec Sub2000. So I'll be putting that video up probably, if I get this one up tonight, I'll probably put that one up in the morning or tomorrow. So you'll see that coming up. So so there's going to be that. There's going to be some terminal ballistic stuff, and you'll see some shooting vids done with these guns. So you'll get a good idea how they function, and it should be kind of fun. So anyway, but before I get into the pros and cons, which is kind of what I want to do in this video, is I'm going to introduce you to each one of these rifles and kind of just give you an overall view of each one, kind of introduce you, so you know what you're looking at. So let's start off with the one on top here, and this is the Marlin Camp 9. Now I've got this sticker on because I know people are going to ask. I don't know if I'm going to be selling this stock, so I'm just going to keep the sticker on it here, just for resale value or whatever. But this is the Chote stock. This is in the Chote stock. This is the Marlin Camp 9 or Camp Carbine, and it takes the Smith & Wesson 59 series mags. I've done a video on this one already, so a lot of you already know what this one is. It originally came in this walnut stock, and if those of you that have seen these know that it's a very handsome gun when it's in that wood stock. I really like it. Just for like shooting, I put it in this stock because it's compact, and it's actually makes it a little bit nicer to shoot. It actually has a very heavy trigger, and so having the pistol grip stock on it helps you actually mitigate that heavier trigger. So I like that, and it just kind of adds a little tacticality to, if that's even a word, tacticality to the Marlin. So, but anyway, this is probably my bet for the most accurate of the three. Okay, when we talk about the ballistics discussion on these three rifles, or on the pistol caliber carbine, you'll see some interesting numbers coming out of these three. But this is probably going to be my bet for the most accurate of the three. Okay, so that is the Marlin. Now you can get this Marlin in, it comes with the 12-round mags standard, but you can get 15-round mags, and you can also get 30-round mags for this. So the capacity of this gun is the same as these other two. So I know a few people have mentioned that that's a disadvantage, but it's not really, because you can get 30-round mags. Now let's move on to the Feather Industries. This is the Feather Industries AT9. Okay, and this one has the wireframe expandable stock, so you can drop it back, and it's actually a very interesting and cool rifle. This is kind of an older one. I'm not sure if Feather Industries is still around. I know that you can get brand new ones of these. I don't know if they call them the 18-9 anymore or not. I think they've changed the name of them. But what this one does is this one actually has a 17-inch barrel, so it's got the longest barrel of the three. This one actually takes Uzi magazines, and if I am incorrect in this, I believe that they're modified. I think this is a modified slot in the top, but you can get Uzi magazines and you can modify them, so it's really cheap. This one's a 25 rounder, so you can get whatever size mags you can get for an Uzi, you can get for the 18-9. But this one I've actually I painted. This one has it's utilizing I utilized the Brownells Alumahide for this one. This is the Coyote Brown, although it kind of turned out green, but that's okay. I kind of like the color. So anyway, peep sights, standard fixed peep sights, and it's a blowback operation. Trigger is kind of interesting. It's kind of mushy, but it doesn't really matter. Safety's inside the trigger guard here. All these guns have been safety checked, guys, so just to let you know. But that's the 18-9, and this one is the performer. This one is the ballistics performer of the three. So, and when we do the numbers, you'll see some kind of really interesting numbers coming from this. So, and then last but not least is the Kel-Tec Sub2000 or S2K. And this one actually utilizes the Glock mags. This one I've been looking for a couple years, and I just recently found it. And this one's riding with a 33 round stock here, or a 33 round mag rather. This one is cool because it will fold in half. So it's the most, if I can, if I can do it here, there we go. It folds in half and it's really, really compact. Those of you guys have probably already seen the Sub2000, so if you haven't, this is a quick little introduction. But this thing is really, really sweet. It's probably, of the three, my favorite one so far, just because it is just a really, really neat setup. And anyway, this one's the mid-range performer on ballistics. So you'll see that in the video. But anyway, it's got a charging handle. Comes back, or a charging handle comes back. You can drop it down, charge your mag. It's got actually probably the best trigger of the three. It is a standard fixed sight, peep sight, adjustable front sight, and really, really, really small overall length. So of the three, I mean, if you can see that this one is only a couple inches longer with this stock folded. So this is the most compact of the three. So anyway, that's kind of a quick little introduction of the three rifles there. Oh, bumping the camera, sorry. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the pros and cons here, okay? And I'm going to be off camera a bit, because I'm going to be looking at my notes and things. But so, what's the overall advantage? Why have a pistol caliber carbine? You know, one of the reasons why I feel the pistol caliber carbine has really gained in popularity in recent years, and it really has. I mean, you're seeing a lot more 9mm carbines, or pistol caliber carbines coming out on the market. Just Right, ATI just came out with one, the Just Right carbine. Colt makes 9mm uppers. I think DPMS does. A bunch of different AR manufacturers are coming out with 9mm variants on their ARs. Just because I think the main reason why that popularity gain is because of the cost of ammo. Ammunition is just getting expensive, and to shoot a 223 is about 40 cents or about 30 cents a trigger pull. To shoot a 9mm, you're looking at about 22 cents a trigger pull. So you're looking at 8 cents cheaper per shot. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but it'll add up over time. And you can probably find them. You can find 9mm even cheaper, but that's about $11 a box of 50, and that's about what I can muster up. And then but 223, you're looking at about $6 a box of 20, and that's the cheap stuff. So it's getting more and more expensive to shoot, and I think that because of that, these have really gained in popularity. So really, ammunition is becoming a factor in the sales of these pistol caliber carbines. Now the other thing is that these pistol calibers such as 40, 9mm, and 45 are very readily available. It's very easy to find these. 223, as you guys know, is sometimes kind of difficult to find, especially in quantities enough to actually have some on hand if you're going to be shooting a lot. And so, you know, that's another factor that plays. So that's a big pro to these. Now, one of the other things that plays a role is people are looking for a rifle to add to their collection, especially people that are looking for like battle rifles or shiz hits the fan rifles, WROL, whatever. People actually put these in the WROL category a lot. And I understand why, because they tend to be a little bit lighter weight, a little bit more compact than your standard rifle. Now that's not always the case. I mean, there's some that are just as large and just as heavy. In fact, the Marlin camp rifle is almost 7 pounds. In its wood stock, and I believe the AT9 is right around 6.5 pounds. I think it's a little bit lighter than the Marlin. And then, but then you have things like the Kel-Tec Sub2K, which is 4 pounds. I mean, just unbelievable. This thing is quite the like the little lightweight of the group, you know. So there is. There is some advantages for that, but also one of the biggest advantages is the fact that the magazines and ammunition can be interchanged with your pistols, and that makes it hugely advantageous. Okay, it makes for a really slick, simple system. So this one shares mag with a Glock 17. So I can take my mag out of my Glock 17, okay, and I can slip it right here in this, and I can get longer range, accuracy, and better ballistics out of this rifle over the Glock 17. Okay, so the mag interchangeability is huge. In fact, a lot of people will argue that the Sub2000 in the Glock mags and a Glock 17 is the best shiz hits the fan combination out there, best prepper combination. You know, and I'm not necessarily arguing with that. So, you know, there's a lot of people that say that. Now this one has Uzi mags, and so the interchangeability is not quite as good with the AT9, but you're still looking at a very available magazine, as well as the hugely available 9mm round. Now the Marlin camp rifle shares magazines with any gun that takes the 59 series Smith & Wesson mags. That's the 5906, the 6906. There's a bunch that take that magazine. So if you have any of those guns, then the Marlin camp rifle will be that'll be huge for you, because you know you can use the 59 series mags. Now I know that the Marlin camp rifle also comes in the 9mm or the 45, and the 45 I think takes 1911 mags. So anytime you have a 1911, there you go. There's your prepper combination right there. So the commonality with handguns makes these really versatile and simplistic in building a system. So that's one of the reasons. That's one of the pros and one of the reasons why they're becoming popular. Now one of the other biggest advantages, okay, or the biggest pros, is that you are going to get better ballistics out of these rifles. Now I'm not going to go into a lot of depth here, because I'm going to break this for sure into its own video. But when you take a 9mm round and you fire it out of a short barreled pistol, you're going to get about roughly 30 to 40% less velocity and energy than you are out of the rifle length or the 16-inch barrels. Okay, that's huge. Okay, when you're able to gain 30 to 40% energy from the muzzle out of a cartridge, that's a huge advantage ballistically. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll do a video on that. That's going to be really kind of fun. That ballistics video should be cool for you guys to see. So okay, so better ballistics, and next is the next biggest advantage is more accuracy. Okay, so let me snag a pistol real quick, and I'll show you. Let's see, what do I have handy here? Okay. This one's going to be the one. This is just for demonstration purposes, okay? Okay, so let's take, I've got my 6906, or not my 6906, my SP101 and 22 here. Okay, so this is a handgun, right? Of course it is. All right. In a handgun, when we're talking accuracy, okay, you have 2 points of contact, okay? 2 points of interaction between you and the gun. All right, your right hand, okay, or if you're left-handed, you know, you'll have your left hand on the gun first. Your right hand and your left hand, okay? This is where, this is how you fire the gun. And you might even fire it one-handed. But 2 points of contact, okay, two points of stability. This is unloaded. Okay, so when you go ahead and pull that trigger, okay, you have to stabilize the gun away from your body, okay, pull the trigger and fire. And it's gonna be a lot harder to stabilize that gun, okay, that handgun. Now, let's take the rifle for instance, okay, you have one hand, you have your right hand on it, you have your left hand on it, and you have a shoulder contact. So you have 3 points of contact on that rifle. And so when you go to take your shot, you have 3 areas of stability. You also have three contact points, okay, left, right hand, and the shoulder to absorb recoil and to stabilize the gun in recoil. Where on a pistol, you have, when you have recoil, you have to absorb it through your wrist and your hands only. And so therefore, you're not going to have as much stability for follow-up shots, things like that. Okay. Now, the other advantage of the rifle over the handgun is sighting radius. Okay, so if we lay the rear sights together, you're going to have roughly half the sighting distance on this particular rifle combination. Okay, so the further apart your sights are, the more precise you're going to be able to be with your target. So you're going to be more accurate. Okay, shorter sighting radius, less accuracy. So no one's going to argue really that the rifle, the pistol caliber carbines are going to be more accurate, and they are more accurate. Whereas you can shoot a pistol, you know, I can shoot a pistol out to 100 yards pretty easy. I'm not going to be shooting groups at that range, but you know, I can hit a still target at 100 yards with a pistol, but I can almost guarantee that I can hit a target with one of these out to 100 yards. Okay, so I can actually probably shoot a group at 100 yards. With this, I'd just be kind of just you know, free balling it, just throwing them out there. So, all right, so they're going to be hugely accurate over the pistols. Okay, so that's one of the biggest advantages. Now, another advantage is that when you're shooting a 9mm pistol, okay, you're going to be absorbing, like I said, all the recoil through your hands and your wrists. Now that is going to be intimidating to some people. So smaller frame shooters, female shooters, people that are going to be sensitive to recoil are going to like a rifle much better, especially in a 9mm round, okay, or a 45 even. You're going to experience less felt recoil. Why? And why? That's because these rifles weigh twice as much as pistols. Okay, so you've got twice as much weight absorbing the rounds, and you have, you know, semi-automatic actions in these particular ones that are going to absorb some of that recoil as well. So felt recoil is going to be lessened, and that's an advantage. You know, and if you put a pistol in somebody's hand that's inexperienced, it's going to be harder for someone to operate a pistol without as much experience. But you put a rifle in somebody's hand, and they're going to be more stable, more accurate with it, faster. Okay, so that's an advantage. Now, let's see what else. You know, and we talked a little bit about the weight of the rifle. They tend to be a little bit lighter weight than some of your main battle rifles, your AR-15s, things like that. Not always, okay? You can get ARs that are just as light as these two rifles. But for the most part, my wife loves this S2K so far. She loves it because she can hold it up all day long. She can lean into it, hold that thing up, and not get fatigued, okay? And that's huge for your female shooters. And those guys out there that are not considering their wives on when they're purchasing guns. Now, not every gun purchase needs to be, you know, something that both of you can utilize. But the thing is when you consider a rifle, or when you consider a gun, if you're not considering your wife, then shame on you. You really should be considering the female shooter, the smaller frame shooter, you know, a child, you know, somebody that you want to train. You want to take into account their abilities, and you know, because if you put a 30-06 that weighs 5 pounds into somebody's hands and they fire it, they're not going to like it. okay, especially if they're not experienced. And you know, but if you put something like this in their hands, that's lighter weight, that's a little easier for them to shoot, they're going to enjoy it a lot more. Okay. All right. Let's see. You know, ammo carriage. I added that as a pro. The ability to carry more ammo, and I think that's true. Although if you take a 9mm round and like an M193, a 5.56 by 45 ball ammo, 55 grain, you know, 223, they weigh pretty dang close. Okay, weight wise they're pretty close, but the 223 cartridge is much larger. Okay, almost twice the size. In size as the 9mm, so you can actually carry more 9mm with less space taken up. So there is a slight advantage to the ammo carriage there. So, okay, now let's talk about the biggest con. Okay, this is actually the only con that I can see really to these rifles, or these carbines, is that they are pistol caliber carbines. All right. They are not rifle caliber carbines. They are pistol caliber carbines. And because of that, you are not shooting a high-powered rifle. You are shooting a pistol caliber or pistol cartridge that has a little bit more energy than that being shot out of a pistol. So it's not that's the biggest con. It's not a battle rifle cartridge. It's not a 223. It's not a 308. It's not a 7.62 by 39. It is a pistol caliber, and that goes for the 40, the 45, and the 9mm. You are gaining ballistic advantage over a pistol for sure, but it's still not the high-powered rifle. And if you want knockdown power, if you want to truly talk about knockdown power, a 223, 308, 7.62 by 39, that is knockdown power. You're getting into the realms of hydrostatic shock. The ability to one-stop shot somebody almost every time with a rifle. With a pistol caliber, you're not necessarily going to get that. Now, they are more effective than handguns, and that's what and handguns are, effective. But that's the biggest con. Okay, that's the biggest drawback, and that's not. There's no hidden small text here. That's just kind of the compromise that you're choosing when you go and buy something like this. So anyway, guys, hopefully you found that interesting. Like I said, the reason why I wanted to do this was to kind of introduce you guys a little bit to the pistol caliber carbine genre, and we're going to be doing some individual videos here. Okay, so we're going to talk about ballistics. We're going to talk about some of their practical applications, and I think that should be interesting for you guys. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, the same thing. And don't forget to rate the video, like or dislike, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this and see the upcoming series. But really appreciate you guys watching, and we will catch you guys probably in the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. See ya.